a snowy morning for our talk on nutrition and diabetes. So I've given out a handout. Let me get you some handouts.
Sorry, Sarah. I can get her handouts.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Marla.
You're welcome. Sorry. So nutrition and diabetes. So does anybody know what diabetes is? Or you want to read it from this paper? You look really smart. This one here. So diabetes is defined as a disease that occurs when the blood sugar is too high. When left untreated, it can lead to complications like heart disease, nerve damage, eye problems, kidney disease. So the pancreas, we see a picture of the pancreas sits below the liver and the gallbladder. That's what's on top. That pancreas produces insulin, which is necessary for allowing sugar into the cells. Without it, blood sugar levels are higher than they should be. So type 1 diabetes is when your body does not make insulin, your pancreas is shut off. Type 2 is it doesn't make enough insulin or resists its effect in lowering blood sugar. So how I like to explain it is we have cells in our body, and for ages, all of our lifetime, we have treated them kind of poorly. We've eaten ultra-processed food, we've eaten tons of sugar. Even when we don't try to eat sugar, it's in everything. Ketchup, mayonnaise, even salad dressing. So we have to be careful how much sugar we're getting, because we really only need about 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. And that's pretty minimal. And I keep thinking, okay, did I get more than 6 teaspoons a day? That's how I kind of mentally measure it. But the cells are here, and when we eat, there's glucose in the body from the sugar that's in the food, and the cells pancreas will release the insulin. In a healthy cell, it'll open up. The insulin hits the receptors on the cell, opens up, glucose goes in, feeds the cell. But when the cell is tired and we've had too much, it stays closed. Like a little child that won't talk. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. So it stays closed and it doesn't open. So the pancreas thinks, wow, we need more insulin. Keeps putting insulin into the bloodstream to get the cell to open, and it stays closed. Then the glucose stays in the bloodstream. Now, it's not very good for it to be in the bloodstream, so it'll take up residence in the stored fat and muscles, mostly around the midsection in the waist area is where it takes up residence, because those cells are stubborn. But if we give it the right nutrients and we feed it the right way, naturally those cells are going to open up, and then the glucose is going to go in, and the insulin will go in as well as it hits the receptors. So that's diabetes. We had 3 ladies with type 2 diabetes in the Parkinson's program. All 3 of them have been able to lower their A1C. That's the marker, a 3-month marker of your glucose in your body and how your insulin and pancreas are working. So they've been doing really well. Exercise, diet, all lifestyle changes. And the one lady said, but I'm still at like a regular number is 5.5 to 6. Hers was at a 7. But I said, look how much you've come down. She was at a 10. She's come down to a 7 in 3 months. That's really big. And it takes a good while as your body adjusts to get those numbers regulated, but we absolutely can. And as the diabetes is going down, so they're doing better cognitively. And that extra sugar goes to the brain and acts as like it affects the neurotransmitters and the neurons, and they don't fire as well. So we see that in Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, any ADHD. You you see when kids eat a lot of sugar, they go crazy. And I know that because my grandson and granddaughter, I can time it. If they have something sugary, within 20 to 30 minutes, they're bouncing off the wall. And that's what's happening. It's too much for their little body. And they're not able to absorb all that glucose all at once. So we want to look at diabetes. There are 30.3 million number of people in the United States who are estimated to have diabetes. 1 in 4 number of people who don't even know they have diabetes. So that's even pre-diabetes as well. So you're pre-diabetic when your A1C starts to go up, when your glucose in your body starts to shoot up. So there are some symptoms: excessive hunger and thirst, brain fog, mood swings, fatigue, blurred vision, numbness, tingling in hands and feet, unexplained weight loss, excessive urination, skin changes, folds become darker due to excess glucose. So there's some nutrition therapy that we can use, and that would be a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, heart-healthy fats, and lean proteins. Limit fried food, foods high in sodium, desserts, sugars, sweetened beverages, and also work with me for a nutrition plan personalized for you. And it pretty much talks about what I talked about here on the back. The food going in, and then the pancreas, and then the insulin, and then you have your type 1, which there's no key on the cells to let the glucose in, and type 2, there are some. But yeah. So let's talk about, because there are ways we can eat that can lower our insulin, our glucose spikes, and we can still have those good things that we like, the birthday cake, the things that are on occasion. I say eat 80% good and 20% is a treat for you. So as we eat, and even just eating, we can do some things. So I would tell you, and I'm looking at this, top 9 tips for studying glucose. So the first one would be to eat a really good breakfast. So add some protein in your breakfast. That's really key. And they say that depending on what you eat for breakfast sets you up for the rest of the day. So if my husband was here, I can talk about it because he's not here, he'd have a donut. He would be kind of crazy. Hi Nick, how are you? Come on in.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Sorry, just a little.
No. I popped over to say hi to those two real quick first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably would have been on time.
No, thank you. You're fine. I'll just picture this. They're just talking about diabetes in that first page there. But now we're on the 9 tips. So everybody likes to have their cake and they like to eat it right, and they like to share in the fun. So what I would tell you to add the protein in, especially at breakfast time, and protein will set you up for the rest of the day. And we know how we feel like if we eat that donut in the morning, they're kind of sluggish, kind of, oh, I don't feel so good, I have a headache. So I would tell you breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It sets you up for the rest of the day. So if we add a savory breakfast, and there's a recipe attached to this packet. It's a savory omelet. And basically it's butter, eggs, feta cheese, tomatoes, and salt and pepper. And you put that all together. So we want something that's nourishing, not savory and sweet for our breakfast. 2, remember that the food order matters. So just by eating in a certain order can lower your glucose spikes by 75%. So what I would tell you is eat in this order. Eat your veggies first. So even do a veggie starter. So you could do it for breakfast even, just have some veggies. So as you were saying, what was in your little breakfast? Was it breakfast?
Early lunch.
Early lunch. She had her vegetable, which was spinach. Then she had some quinoa, and what else was in there?
Pulled chicken.
Chicken, her
Mhm.
protein. So it's all together. So they say that as long as you're eating in order, your vegetable first, your fats and your proteins, that keeps the spikes down, your starches, and then your sugars. So what the vegetables do is they produce a fibery mesh in the intestinal lining and in the stomach, and that fiber absorbs. So as we're eating, we want that fiber to be in there, and we want the protein and the fats to come in. We always want healthy fats. That feeds the brain. Our brain is 60% fat, and then the sugars. So lowering our glucose by 75%, that's huge, just by eating that way. And there's no timing, like if you eat your veggies first, and then your protein and fats, and then your starches, and then sugars, that's good. In here someplace, let me see, I talk about, eating, the back of this page, on the 9 tips for studying your glucose levels. It talks about eating in order. And so some roasted veggies, there's a list there. Your cruciferous vegetables have the most fiber, so your broccoli, your asparagus, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts have a lot of fiber in there. And then we go to our fats and protein, and people say, well, I didn't know avocado was a protein. It has protein and healthy fats in it. So do nuts. So those would be some choices for you, because oftentimes when we think of protein, we think steak or chicken. You know, we forget there's quinoa, there's chia seeds and flax seeds and nuts and lentils and beans that have a lot of protein. Even broccoli has protein in it. And then starches. So we want to get away from the white refined starches, because those don't really do a whole lot for us. What we really want is a grain that has the hull on it. So it would be the quinoa, the couscous, what are some of the other ones there?
Brown rice.
Brown rice. It has more of the hull on where it's not processed. It's like in its original form. That's what we want. So breads, we would do like a grain bread or whole wheat bread, something like that, not a white bread. White rice would be the same, white pasta, croissants, grains, potatoes. So sweet potatoes would be better than regular white potatoes. And then get some crackers, like a multi-grain cracker. It has more fiber in it. And then sugars. So are all sugars created equal? Does anybody know? No. It is when it comes to diabetes, but like your honey and your stevia is what I would recommend, or coconut sugar, because they come from a plant. Those obviously have more nutritional value, but they all spike the glucose in our body. So we have to think of that. Even though we're eating, like I thought this morning, do I want honey in my tea? It's the morning. We should stay away from sweets in the morning. I kind of put it off to the side until I ate my little omelet, and then I had the honey in my tea. So kind of balance it like that, because we don't want to start first thing with the sugar, because our stomach has fasted all evening, and the cells are wide open for whatever we put into our body, and so we want to give it nutritious things that will nourish our bodies. Not that honey won't, it will, but it also spike our glucose. So the thing with weight, when we kind of say, oh, I hit stabilize my weight, I can't go any further, I don't know what's wrong, why can't I get over this hump? It's because of the glucose spikes too. So we have to remember how to eat nutritiously, but also how to eat around diabetes. And I'll tell you, even me, I have to watch because as I'm older, your pancreas doesn't work. I'm 59, older, I'm older than most everybody, but as our pancreas doesn't work because it's gone all these years of work, now we're heading into that 6th decade, and it just needs a little bit more help, that I can be prone to go into prediabetes pretty quickly if I'm not careful. And also too, I have autoimmune disease. So as I eat, I nourish my body so that it can stabilize and be in a healthy range. So there's all those things to think about too. So if you eat your veggie starter hack number 3 at the beginning of your meals, ideally they say 30% of your plate. It will lower your cravings, your blood spike, your glucose spikes, your lower inflammation, and improve your health. 4, prioritize molecules over calories. The food that has the highest carb to fiber ratio and the most amount of protein is going to be better for your glucose level. So if you're looking at the nutrition label, and all the products have nutrition labels, you want to look at your fiber and your protein, and your fiber should be at least half of your protein. Some of these things are equal, like 5 grams and 5 grams, but as long as your fiber is half of that, the carbs, even though they can say 25 carbs, it will keep those blood sugar spikes low. So it could look like you're getting a lot of carbs. People say, how many carbs should I get a day? They say about your weight, whatever your weight is, 150 to 200 or so. And as we lower those carbs down, then that's easier on the pancreas and losing weight. Integrate vinegar. So before you eat, have 1 tablespoon of vinegar 10 minutes before a meal. And this can, because of the acetic acid in the vinegar, it can lower your blood glucose by 30% just by doing that. So you ask what kind of vinegar. I would say apple cider vinegar has the most acetic acid in it. White wine vinegar, rice vinegar, balsamic, cherry vinegar. But I wouldn't think that balsamic glaze is the same as balsamic vinegar. There's sugar in the balsamic glaze, but there's a glaze you can put on that's really good. But that's not the same as a balsamic vinegar. Now, if you can't stomach the vinegar, you can use lemon. It doesn't have the same acid. It has citric acid in it, but it will work. You just have to use a little bit more lemon. So they typically say 3 lemons squeezed equals 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So if you don't want to do that much lemon, just do 1 tablespoon. And you can dilute it, put it in some water. You don't have to do a shot straight down. But getting those in will lower the glucose and the starches and reduce the spikes by 30%. It's really key. Avoid processed sugary fruit juice. When I ask people if they eat fruit, they say, I drink juice. But it's not the same. It has a lot of sugar in it without the fiber. So we need the fiber in it, and that's what we're missing. Use your body, get moving for 10 minutes within 90 minutes of eating after a meal. 90 minutes is when that blood glucose spikes. So even if you're sitting, like I'm at my desk, the best is your calf muscle, and it's
Which one is it called?
It's called the
Oh, Bob, tell us.
What is it? Soleus muscle. Good job.
That's my
So
favorite
do you
muscle.
tell them
I do every single day.
yes? If you're sitting there, just raise up on your toes and get that.
200 a day.
And that soleus muscle is the best muscle. Do you tell them that it absorbs the glucose?
Oh, I didn't know. I just,
Yeah.
you talk about the
Yeah.
pumping of the.
So it
the-
soaks up the most glucose in the body, that soleus muscle, by raising it up and down. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just do this. Jen, I did my exercises today. And there's, in India, there's a saying in India that after they eat each meal, they walk 100 steps. So it's basically taking a walk after each meal. That's their belief, 100 steps after each meal. And then you say, well, it's 3 o'clock, and I really like that cookie that's out on the desk, the Life in Motion. Can I have that cookie? That's the only thing I'm eating at 3 o'clock. Can I still have it? I would tell you, if you don't want to spike your glucose as much, take the cookie with you home and have it with something. So if you have to have it right now, eat some almonds and then the cookie, because that protein and fiber is going to absorb and your glucose spiking is not going to go up as high. Or a hard-boiled egg and then the cookie, or a slice of cheese, some yogurt, chickpeas, cottage cheese, avocado, hummus, and veggies. So always think a little bit of veggies before you eat that. Or you could save it and eat the sweet after the meal, because that sweet after the meal is not going to spike the glucose as much. So all sugars are the same when it comes to glucose. Just remember that. And we can set aside the sweets until our next meal or after the meal. Still eat the treat that you love, just don't eat it on an empty stomach. And then we can breathe mindfully. And that, because the biggest thing that spikes the glucose also is stress. Stress is huge. And that's why they say when someone's really stressed, you can see they put on some weight. And that was funny, because when I worked at UPMC, the manager that was across the street, she was under high stress. And she had a lot going on. And I saw her one day and thought, wow, she really put it right here in the hips. And that seems to be where that stress weight goes. And it really spikes it, the glucose. So deep breathing, do some deep breathing, some yoga. You can deep breathe, like breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, and then breathe out for 8. Just so that you're breathing in and regulating that parasympathetic nervous system. And incorporate grounding. Grounding would be putting your feet on the ground outside. Today, and this winter isn't very good, but when it is warm, getting the electric charge from the ground helps offset this positive charge we have in our body. So we get positively charged by stress, by our working on the computer, the EMFs in the air, by Wi-Fi. There are a lot of things that can stress us out of our body. So grounding to the earth is really key. That's why a lot of different cultures go barefoot, and they like to put their feet on the ground. There are grounding mats as well, grounding shoes, grounding sheets, but they're saying that that's really, really good in lowering the stress. And as we do that, we lower the glucose in the bloodstream. Prayer, meditation, mindful breathing. And then this is kind of what I went over. Often, just a thing on sugars, oftentimes they'll put these cute little symbols on there, on the outside. It'll say, with antioxidants proven to help build sugar levels or keep them low or whatever. But just remember, how you eat when you eat the sugar is the best. So in the afternoon, if I want a cup of tea and I want some lemon in it, I'll have some almonds with it to kind of offset that, to keep the blood sugar low. And getting your sugar from a natural source, stevia and honey, maple syrup are all good, coconut sugar.
For breakfast, does that include fruits?
Well, I would eat them in the same order.
Yeah.
So the lowest sugar fruits are berries. So your blueberries have the most antioxidants, and then any other berries follow underneath. They do have some sugar in it, not as much. So low sugar berries, but again, have it with some veggies and then your protein. So like, what would you have for breakfast usually?
So I do, like I have old fashioned oats
Okay,
and I put water in it and I turn it into oatmeal.
okay,
And then I put cinnamon, blueberries, bananas,
okay,
and I think, and Greek yogurt.
okay.
Non-fat,
Okay.
plain Greek yogurt.
Okay, so we didn't get any veggies in there.
Right,
for
it's
the
all
fiber,
fruit.
but there is fiber in the oatmeal. Oatmeal has the protein and fiber. And,
And peanut butter, sorry.
and peanut butter.
It's a lot of things that go in
That's
there.
good. That's
Is that good?
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
that's good. When you say, well, do I need veggies all the time? Well, you get it from the berries, will give you the fiber. There's that, do I eat the berries first, because there's the fiber, or do I not, because it has sugar, and do I save it for the end? But I think if you're getting it all in there, it doesn't say that we have to eat this and then wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes. As long as we're eating them in an order, and I would say that's good. So your oatmeal is a starch, but there's also fiber and protein.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. And then you have your peanut butter that has protein. Does anybody know how much protein you should get at each meal? Take a guess. And it's different because if you're working out, you need more. I typically say 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal, sometimes higher. Now, Jen and Sarah, and maybe Nick need more because they are very athletic. Not that we aren't, we're just, we're not at their level. We're not at their level. But they may push upwards to maybe 200 grams of protein. How much do you try to get a day?
Way less than that, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta step up my game, Marla.
Well, you're running, you're doing a marathon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I would say start out with 30. I mean, we don't want to go too crazy. Like we're only getting 10 or 20 now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just move the needle up just a little bit. And I would say shoot for. And as we're older, we need the protein
Mm-hmm.
because our muscles are wasting. So try to get 35 to 40 is my guess. And then if you need to bump it up, do it slowly. Yeah. And you'll feel fuller, more satiated. Like last night I had dinner, I had soup, and I thought, why am I still hungry? I had chicken in the soup, so I had some yogurt because I needed more protein. Just didn't get enough protein. So kind of feel how you feel after you eat certain things, and then you'll know what to get. Adding more fiber. So if you have that sweet tooth and it's 3 o'clock and you want to eat something, I would tell you eat some protein first and maybe some fiber, like some yogurt and berries, like Greek yogurt with a lot of fiber in it and protein, and then see if you're still hungry for that sweet, that candy bar or that cookie. And usually you're not. You can kind of get away from it, and it doesn't like that. I really need that feeling. It just kind of goes away. Drinking water is huge. Making sure as we up our fiber and our protein, we need more water in the body. And adding the minerals are key too, to get those right into the cell. So let me talk about some foods. Would anybody like to try these pea? Do you eat these, Nick?
I have,
Do you want some?
Sure.
And here's some granola. So this could be your veggie
Okay.
and protein, and then your carb. Does everybody know Nick? Nick is from Homestead in Oakmont, and he's wonderful. He comes and talks and does all kinds of things for
I'll be
us.
coming in April to do a presentation, so.
Great,
Yeah.
April. So we were in a group out in the east, and he was Santa Claus. For the
That was a lot of fun.
elderly communities. He went in a Santa Claus suit and we got to give out bags to everyone. So it was super, super fun. I didn't give out the bags, I just donated. But it was a lot of fun from what I saw. So that's a good treat. People often ask me what to eat when they want something crunchy, and I say that's a really, really good treat. So people say, a lot of Italians in Pittsburgh, and they love their pasta. And so I'll tell you, you can get a really good pasta with a lot of protein, and any bean pasta will give you that protein. So this is 20 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber in this pasta. And this one, which I love this pasta, but there are 8 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber in here. High carbs. There are 34 carbs in here and 40 in here, but it feels like it's more carbs because you don't have the fiber and the protein. So even though we like this brand, getting one of these will add the protein and fiber to keep the glucose stabilized. So you're getting more nutrients in like a bean pasta. Now there's chickpea, there's red lentil, there's black bean pasta, brown rice pasta. You can check them out and see. I find that the chickpea pasta is the less goopy when you make it. It's not as like, ugh. It tastes more natural. And then peanut butter. So I wanted to bring these to you. This actually has 2 grams of sugar, but no added sugar, and 2 tablespoons, 7 grams of protein. And this is a good peanut butter. If you get a Jif, which I love Jif peanut butter, there's a lot of sugar in it. So we want to keep the sugar down. But for diabetics, I would say switch it out with PB Fit. So you can take this, add some water, some almond milk or coconut milk, and make it really thick. You make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But this has just peanut flour, salt, and coconut sugar. So there's only 2 added sugars, 2 fibers, 6 carbs. So this is a little bit better. This is the coconut sugar. So I was at an event where I was talking about sugar, and a lady who was diabetic walked by and she said, I can't have that. And I said, oh, really? Just look at the ingredients. And she goes, oh my goodness, I can. So this is a really good substitute of organic coconut sugar. You can do it baking. It's a lot like brown sugar, that consistency. So as we age and we have neurodegenerative diseases, we are talking about coconut. So getting coconut in whenever you can. And here's my MCT. So what I do is I do a little bit of protein powder to up my protein. I put in some acai powder to give it some flavor, and some MCT oil for the brain. So we need to feed the brain, and we're getting less and less fat to the brain. And as people are going more into neurodegenerative diseases, they're on statins, blood pressure medication, it's blocking the fat and the CoQ10. We talked about that earlier. So getting coconut in, coconut water, coconut milk in your smoothies are great. There's a protein powder that has pineapple and coconut in it that's really, really good. Anybody wants to try these, they're super good. You're welcome to try them. Yogurt, I love this yogurt, Seagys, 16 grams of protein in it, and 11 carbs. Does have 5 grams of added sugars, but there's 16 protein, no fiber. But we can add the fiber. So I would add fiber with some pumpkin seeds, are really, really good. In there, some berries. You can add your flavor with berries. People say, I like yogurt. Should I do like a strawberry banana yogurt? All yogurts that have a flavor have a lot of sugar, a lot. And so I would tell you to add your sugar in, whether you do the coconut sugar or the berries or a little bit of honey or maple syrup would be better than doing those flavored yogurts. So this is the pumpkin seed and flax. So do you like it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So
I do like this a lot. So it is high in protein and fiber. So we talked about the fiber and protein. This has 6 grams of protein in 3/4 of a cup and 5 grams of fiber. So if the fiber is half of the protein, it's really a good product. This has almost as much protein, fiber and protein, so you know this is a good product. And I think pretty low carbs, 37 carbs in there. Again, our carbs can be as much like 150 to 200 a day. So this would give you a lot. Also 2 omega-3s. Omega-3s in your chia seed, flax seed. What else is in here? Your rolled oats, pumpkin. This has pumpkin seeds in it. Cinnamon, molasses is like a sugar. So using your spices, like your cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, even in a drink or a tea is really, really good for your digestion. There's some protein powder. If you like lemons, but you buy a bag and it's too much for you, you can use the lemon juice powder as well. They sell this. And I would tell you if you're doing oats, did you do steel cut oats?
They're called old-fashioned oats.
Okay.
They come in a really big container.
Okay. Okay.
Bad.
That's okay. So steel cut oats will give you more fiber. And that's, fiber is equal to protein. 4 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein. So this will give you more fiber. You can get the instant that takes 5 minutes on the stove or in a microwave. This takes about 15 or 20. So if I make this, I'll make it on the stove, go do what I need to do and come back, but you're getting a lot more power punch out of your oats by doing the steel cut. If you do pancakes, doing something like these Kodiak cakes, a lot of protein in here. 14 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber in here. Now this is a chocolate, so they're a little bit more sugar in here, the dark chocolate, but these are really, really good as well to up your protein. People always ask me, what can I do to get my protein up? It's hard. Look at your cottage cheese, your eggs, your yogurt, your seeds, your nuts, your seeds, your chia seeds, flax seeds are all good as additives in here. And then your cocoa nibs. I know they don't taste like chocolate as much as we'd like them to, but there's only 1 gram of sugar in these. And protein is 4 grams and fiber is 8 grams of fiber. So that is twice the amount of fiber as protein. So you just kind of sprinkle those on your oats or your yogurt. Really, really good. Just a way to get it in. And this I use this acai for my smoothies just to get more flavor in. It does have 4.6 grams of fiber, which is more than protein. Protein is 1 gram. So especially with Parkinson's, we have to get a lot of fiber in, a lot of fiber to keep those bowels moving. Very, very important. And as we start to work with the Parkinson's, getting the natural fiber in. Now, if we still take like a psyllium fiber capsule, that's okay. But as we get it in through the diet, we don't have to take as much psyllium fiber capsules. But as I work with you on your diet, especially Parkinson's, they don't have any trouble with constipation. It's amazing, and then they feel better. They feel better as a result. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, I have one. I don't want to interrupt.
That's okay.
What would be the stores that you typically can find some of this more readily available?
Yeah, so it's hit or miss. Fresh Time, because I was up in Cranberry yesterday, I stopped in. They had a couple things, and I picked them up. I can often find this kind of stuff at Walmart. This I'll order Amazon. The protein powder, I like to get it through Nutritional Frontiers because I know where it comes from and I trust the company. This, you can I get these online on Amazon, but they had them them at Fresh Time yesterday.
Okay.
Whole Foods I don't get too much. I would do a Trader Joe's more than a Whole Foods because I think it's cheaper, more quality, more bang for your buck. You can get this anywhere. Sometimes they have it at Aldi. This was Fresh Time, but I've seen it at Walmart, and this we can get anywhere. CDs isn't really offered in a lot of smaller stores, but again, they have other yogurts you can look at. Like even Aldi, I'll do their Greek yogurt at Aldi. I think it's pretty good as well. This I got online. This I think I got at Sam's. So you can look at Sam's. I hear Costco has a little bit more variety. It's good, better selection. You know, more Whole Foods. This Giant Eagle, I got it at Fresh Time. They have it, I'm sure, at Walmart now. And then the PB Fit just anywhere. So it's kind of a spattering. If I know I have a busy week, I'll do Amazon, because you can get quite a bit of things on Amazon and just have it delivered. If you're going, like you're in Oakmont, if you're headed out like by Walmart, you can do the Walmart pickup or go in yourself. Aldi, you know, it's up there too, and Sam's Club. That's typically where I go because I can hit 3 stores if I need it all at once. Like Sam's, what I don't get at Sam's, I'll go to Walmart or Aldi, and that's really, really easy for me. But again, just look at your nutrition labels on the back. So I'll tell you with nutrition facts, the label, if it says nutrition facts, it's a food, which we know all this is food. But oftentimes with your supplements, it doesn't always say nutrition facts. It'll say a supplement fact because it's more man-made than food. But this will tell you that it's real food if it says nutrition versus supplement facts. Now there are foods in here, but probably not enough that they can label it nutrition facts. You can see the difference. Does anybody want to try out a Moha bar?
Yeah.
I've tried a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 3.
Yeah, go ahead, you guys go.
I don't need one, I have
Wow.
plenty of bars.
You want to
Yeah.
split?
No,
You can split it.
I'll just get one.
I'll just look at it.
Okay.
And then
Well,
I'll do
you
it.
guys decide. I should have got more, but I thought I was gonna break them up and cut them up into pieces. But it's better to get the whole bar. Any other question?
So I'm a frequent Aldi shopper. I've really switched over to Aldi and just found like you can really find better options there a lot, and I just kind of trust what's on the shelf more. They're Aldi brand peanut butter. So I used to eat Justin's. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's
you
what.
did?
So that was the peanut butter we got.
Okay, yeah.
It's good peanut butter, but the Aldi brand peanut butter is equal to the nutritional value. It might have a little less protein, but much cheaper. And so we've switched to the Aldi brand peanut butter, and I love that stuff. I live by it now.
Yeah,
So.
and that's the natural peanut
Yeah,
butter.
all natural peanut
Yeah.
butter, and you have to mix it every time you jar.
Yeah. My daughter gets that, and she really likes it.
Yeah, we've really, because that was one thing we were thinking about, our peanut butter.
Sure.
Took us a while to switch the things we were used to, but now that we've
Yeah.
come accustomed to it, it's been nicer.
So is that more like about $2.50 to $3 for that?
It's still a little bit more than that,
Still a
but
little bit more, but I know Justin's can be like
Yeah.
6 or 7 a jar, so I think
Yeah.
it's probably around 3.
it's about, it's probably about 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
4.50.
just shocked.
I look less close because I count slower.
But it's not, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're
it's
small.
big.
They are a little bit smaller sometimes than Justin's. You can get a little bit bigger
Okay.
containers, so that plays a part in
Yeah,
it too.
but it is
I mean,
more
it's probably about
expensive.
that size.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably about $6 or $7 for
Mhm.
that. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
yeah,
Like I look at the prices, it's,
yeah. Costs a little bit more to use, a little healthier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's
Pays
great
off.
to know. Yeah, so just look at the label and you wanna see the less things in it.
Yeah.
Like those monosodium, whatever stuff they put in. This one just has peanuts and palm oil
Yeah.
in it.
That's why
I think
the
that
brand
Aldi-
just says just
it's just
peanuts.
peanuts and
It just says
salt.
Peanuts and
Peanuts
salt.
and salt,
Mhm.
which is
That's it.
even better,
Mhm.
because we don't want the oils in there.
Mhm.
So I would say that's even better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a trip.
Yeah,
come
I should do a nutrition class on just Aldi brand, because.
I would come to, because
Yeah.
I shop there a lot, but I'd love to learn more.
Yeah. And Aldi is a German company,
Mhm.
so they don't put all the additives in their foods like other
Mhm.
places do.
Yeah.
Because in Europe, they just don't. It's outlawed, most
Yeah.
places in Europe.
So they have, I don't remember what it's called, I know exactly where the bag's at, I know it's dark chocolate coconut clusters. And it's only made with dark chocolate, coconut, pumpkin seed, flax seed.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, it's just a list of power ingredients, and that's all it is.
That's great.
They're rich, but they have really good dough. So when you have a craving for a sweet chocolate, you
Yeah.
grab that, and it
Yeah.
feels like you're getting like a handful of M&Ms, but you're actually getting
Yeah.
something much better. So.
I'm gonna look at the
Yeah.
label and check the fiber and
Yeah, I don't know the nutritional facts there, but I know the
Yeah.
ingredients
are
are.
really good, so I'm sure it's pretty high. Another thing, go ahead.
Aldi also has like a satisfaction guarantee sort of thing, so
Oh, wonderful.
if there's something that you don't like about it, they'll take it back.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like a crazy, and they'll do this with any product, but I had a can of nuts that I bought, and I couldn't open it. Something was wrong, it didn't open. So I brought it back, and I just wanted the other, can I just get another jar?
Yeah.
And they gave me the other jar, and they refunded my money. So they gave me,
Wow.
I said, no, I don't need that. Can I just have one that opens? That's all I need.
Yeah.
But they'll do that. It's on all their products. There's a little thing that
Mhm.
says
Great.
that it's like, they give you twice back whatever so you can try things. That's the only time I've ever used that, and I didn't even want to use their little satisfaction
Yeah.
guarantee, but they do have that if you're trying something.
Yeah, that's really good to
Yeah.
know. And I would say incorporate spices into your meals.
Mm-hmm.
Spices are key. Getting some Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan salt every day is important. They have the nutrients, the minerals we need on a daily basis. 82 out of 90 minerals we need every day. And if you just take a pinch or so, teaspoon of the salt every day. Because if you have a heart attack, what do? They give you an IV of fluid. What's in the fluid? Sodium. And they do tell you to stay away from salt, but again, what they do is give you sodium when you're having the heart attack. And so I think we just don't get enough of the nutrients anymore. And then teas, you can get a power pack full of like moringa tea has more protein and fiber and really good antioxidants in it. So drinking moringa, maca, spirulina, chlorella are good for detoxifying. So anytime, we should be detoxing all the time. There's so much in our food and water and air. We just need to make sure we're cleaning things out, getting more nutrients in. Any more questions?